So, what invisible command center is currently making you blink, breathe, and digest your last meal without you having to spare a single conscious thought? It's a pretty wild question, isn't it? Because right now, as you're listening to my voice, there is this hyper advanced biological network running quietly in the background of your body, just managing millions of tiny tasks to keep you alive and functioning.
Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're diving into exactly that, the nervous system. You can really think of it as your body's ultimate biological computer. I mean, it plays a role in absolutely everything you do. It helps you move, think, and feel. It's constantly keeping track of what's going on both inside and outside of your body, and it decides, literally in a fraction of a millisecond, how to respond to whatever situation you find yourself in.
To truly grasp the sheer mind-blowing scale of this biological computer, consider this number: 100 billion. There are 100 billion specialized cells called neurons in your brain alone, and they are working tirelessly right this very second just to process the information in this explainer. They're firing off electrical signals, connecting, communicating, and forming this vast, complex network that essentially makes you, well, you.
Okay, let's look at our roadmap for today. 1. The ultimate command center. 2. Meet the neural workforce. 3. Anatomy of the tree. 4. When things go wrong. And 5. Protecting your nervous system. Section 1. The ultimate command center, regulating every waking and sleeping moment. To really appreciate the nervous system, we have to look at the sheer scope of what it manages on a second-by-second basis. Its main job is actually pretty straightforward, but monumentally complex in practice. It sends messages from various parts of your body up to your brain, and then from your brain back out to your body to tell it what to do. And think about the incredible contrast between what we actively control and what we don't. On the one hand, we have our conscious actions. The nervous system regulates our thoughts, our memory, learning, and feelings, and interprets what we see, hear, taste, and touch. It even manages our physical balance. But on the flip side, it's managing an entire universe of unconscious processes. We're talking wound healing, sleep cycles, your heartbeat, your breathing. It controls how you respond to stress, right down to sweating and blushing. It even regulates long-term stuff like digestion, aging, and puberty. It literally never takes a break. Section 2. Meet the neural workforce, the cells behind the magic. So, the absolute fundamental building block of this entire system is the neuron. A neuron is a highly specialized nerve cell, and its one and only job is to use electrical signals to send messages all over your body. These electrical signals are zooming around right now among your brain, skin, organs, glands, and muscles. They're what help you move your limbs and feel things like pain or temperature. Basically, they take in data from your environment and shuttle it to and from your command center at lightning speed.
But here's the thing. Neurons don't all do the exact same job. They actually operate like this perfect high-speed relay team. Let's look at a real-world example, like accidentally touching a hot stove. Ouch, right? Well, step 1. Your sensory neurons immediately take in that environmental data from your skin and rush it straight to your brain. Step 2. Your interneurons act as the middleman. They quickly communicate between the sensory and motor neurons, processing the data in a flash and deciding, whoa, this is dangerous, we need to move. And then step 3. Your motor neurons take that urgent signal from your brain and spinal cord directly to your muscles, executing the physical reaction to pull your hand away. And all 3 of these steps happen almost instantaneously.
Section 3. Anatomy of the tree, mapping the central and peripheral networks.
To easily conceptualize all this complex anatomy, I want you to imagine your nervous system as a tree. Just keep that image right in your mind for a second. Picture a strong, solid central structure with these sprawling extensions reaching out in every possible direction. Applying that tree metaphor to our biology brilliantly illustrates how this all works. The nervous system is divided into 2 main parts. First up is the central nervous system, or CNS. This is the trunk of the tree. It's made up of your brain and your spinal cord. Your brain sits right at the top of that trunk, reading signals from the nerves to regulate how you think, move, and feel. Then, extending outwards, we have the peripheral nervous system, or PNS. These are the branches. The PNS is a sprawling network of nerves that branch out from the spinal cord, relaying information from the trunk all the way down to your organs, your arms, legs, and right down to your fingers and toes. Now, if we look just a little bit closer at those extending peripheral branches, we'll see they're actually split into two highly specialized teams. The first is the somatic nervous system. This branch guides your voluntary movements. The things you actively choose to do, like reaching for a glass of water or typing on a keyboard. The second team is the autonomic nervous system. This one regulates all those involuntary activities you do without even trying, keeping your heart pumping and your food digesting while running on total autopilot. Section 4. When things go wrong, system errors and interventions.
Because this biological network is so vast and intricate, there are quite a few conditions that can affect it. We're talking about things ranging from gradual disorders like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease to sudden emergencies like a traumatic brain injury or even infections like meningitis. When the nervous system experiences a glitch or an error, healthcare providers basically have to act like specialized IT technicians to troubleshoot the network. They use a whole array of diagnostic tests to check the system's health. For instance, CT and MRI scans are used to get a super clear visual picture of structural issues within the brain and spine. Then, to monitor the actual electrical signals and activity, they might use an EEG for the brain or an EKG for the heart's nerve impulses. And something like a lumbar puncture, often called a spinal tap, allows them to test the spinal fluid directly for specific markers of infection or disease. Now, while some conditions develop slowly over time, others are sudden, immediate, life-threatening medical emergencies. Take a stroke, for example. If a stroke occurs, time is absolutely of the essence. The sudden signs of a stroke include muscle weakness or paralysis, usually on just one side of the body, sudden vision loss, slurred speech, and sudden unexplained confusion. I really want to emphasize this point. If you or a loved one ever notice these sudden changes or the signs of a seizure, you must call 911 or your local emergency services immediately. Do not just wait around to see if it gets better. Strokes and seizures require incredibly rapid treatment to protect the brain and preserve as much of that precious neural network as possible. Fast action literally saves lives and preserves nervous system function. Section 5. Protecting your nervous system. Preventative maintenance for the command center. Okay, the really good news here is that this incredible biological machine absolutely thrives when we give it a little preventative maintenance. Your nervous system needs active, daily care to keep working at its best. So here is a quick daily care checklist for you. First, fuel the machine by eating balanced, healthy foods. Second, protect the hardware. Always wear protective gear like a helmet when you're playing sports or doing anything risky. Third, avoid harmful substances like tobacco smoke, which can genuinely damage your internal wiring over time. Fourth, make sure you actively manage any underlying health conditions you might have. And finally, see a healthcare provider regularly. They're there to help ensure your nervous system has exactly what it needs to run flawlessly. Take a second to think about what we've just uncovered today. Your command center just fired millions of electrical impulses across 100 billion neurons in perfect, synchronized harmony, just so you could watch, process, and understand this very explainer. You are walking around right now with the most sophisticated processing unit on Earth, tucked right inside your head. So I'm going to leave you with this question. If your nervous system can do all of that flawlessly in the background, what incredible thing will you consciously teach it to do next? Keep learning, keep protecting that amazing brain of yours. And hey, thank you so much for exploring with me today.